Hello. How's it going? Hi. So my name's Ben. I'm always a bit of a black sheep at these kind of things because everyone else, like Errol, is doing world-saving stuff, and I kind of make smelly robots, and it's a bit weird. So I work for a company called Mint Digital, and they make lovely websites and apps and just really nice things. They helped out a bit on the website for Duckfest as well. And I started there on a grad scheme last year-ish. It was called Mint Foundry. There were 4 of us, and we were given the brief to connect something to the internet that doesn't live on a screen. It's weird for a digital agency to do because they had to make something physical. And we basically started off in Build-A-Bear. Anyone been to Build-A-Bear? Anyone know what Build-A-Bear is? The most awesome place in the world ever. It's pretty much like a bear abattoir. You go in and it's like a bear factory, but they've taken all the labor out of the factory and they've put it in a shop, and it's so weird. So this is actually a bear stuffing machine, which is genius because there's all these skins down one side of the wall, and you pick a skin and you take it up to this man, and he fills it with fluff out the fluffing machine, and then you sort of get what sort of squashness you want out of your teddy bear. And this you see here is that's a heart full of beating hearts, and they actually beat in your hand, and you put the beating heart in your teddy bear, and the guy sews it up for you, and then you dance, and there's a little ritual, and it's all a bit weird, and then you pay for it, and we were like, what the hell is going on? So anyway, what we thought was really interesting from a digital perspective, I come from a sort of product design / jack of all trades background, is that basically what you had here is people being rewarded for user-generated content. So in the same way as you might get like a Facebook like when you generate something online, or a retweet, or a Google Plus one for anyone that uses Google Plus. And we thought that was really interesting. And we thought, could we reward people in the real world for stuff they were creating online? And the first way we tried to do this was, has anyone got that thing when they go into the fridge and open it and there's nothing there, and then you go away for half an hour, come back, open it again, and there's still nothing there? No, it's just me. Anyway, we thought it'd be really nice if you got a beer every time you got a retweet. A beer just appeared in your fridge. It didn't work. Surprisingly. So we got really interested in smells. And smells are really interesting because they're really good at affecting your memories and your emotions. And that's a really interesting thing for the digital sphere because we consume so much media on there that it's really easy to forget a lot of stuff. So if you're having like an emotional experience with something and you create a smell around you at the same time, you're able to remember it more. So I'm like, everyone has got their own sort of completely unique versions of smell. So for example, with me, lavender, which supposedly sends most people to sleep, is actually a very sad smell for me because when I was young, my dog died, and my mum used lavender disinfectant. So if I smell lavender now, I get sad. On the other hand, if I smell mold, it makes me happy because I used to have a moldy garden swing that used to come out of the garage once a year, but I've got really happy memories from it. And so we started trying to connect smells to the internet. This is my job. And it was weird because we were in a digital agency and we didn't really have many tools. Like developers are like super minimalism, must not have anything on desk. And I was in the corner with like hammers and taking apart MacBook Pros. So like that's the fan out of a MacBook Pro. And we just started stealing stuff and making it out of card and all this kind of stuff. And it was all using prototype, using Arduinos and all the open software licenses off that. And then we moved on to 3D printed prototypes. They're a really awesome way to build physical stuff really quickly, especially in a digital agency when you've not got a workshop around you, which is what I'm used to. And we came up with Ollie. So Ollie's a web-connected smelly robot, and he releases smells depending on your social activity. So if you get a retweet, if you get an app mention, if someone direct messages you on Twitter, he'll release a smell into the world around you. You can put any smell you like into Ollie. So you can put Strawberries when your girlfriend tweets at you, garbage when your ex-girlfriend tweets at you. And they're stackable. So you can have like as many smells as you like on top of each other. Anyway, so Foundry ended, and we were like, what on earth are we doing with all this stuff? We've built it all, it's all open source, blah, blah, blah. So we put it on Kickstarter, and it failed miserably. Only 171 people in the world want smelly robots. Thank God. And I'm quite stubborn as well. And I was like, oh, he's a bit lonely. So I made Polly. Polly turns your retweets into sweets. It's my job. And this is again, no sort of viability or value in the real world whatsoever. But somehow we managed to win the Ideal Home Show Inventor of the Year. Yep. And shortly after that, we got asked to come on to Sunday Brunch. You know Sunday Brunch? Quality TV viewing for, you guys are all documentary makers and stuff like that, right? Like, you know Sunday Brunch. It's big in the game. I met Tara Reid, childhood hero. But we set up the hashtag Polybrunch, which meant absolutely nothing. But we thought it might be quite funny to be releasing, sort of, when Polly reads Polybrunch on Twitter, she sort of throws up a few gumballs. And it trended worldwide for 12 hours, and nobody had a clue what Polybrunch was. But it trended, it gets to the point where pornography spam bots start to follow the Polybrunch Twitter. It gets really weird. So it was like, oh my God, basically all that means is physical stuff connected to the internet is awesome. We know that, we're just not really clear of how we can do stuff with it. And so this is my shed. This is where I spend most of my time. And so I was like, right, I'm out of the digital agency for a bit. I was still working there, but I was like, I'm going to go and make something. So I found this, which is a Roll-Eye P35 analog film projector for slides. And I was like, oh, if you've ever used or seen a slide projector, they're beautiful. They've got this one's nice. No offense to your projector, but 35mm slides are just stunning. There's no pixels. It's all melty sort of. And I was like, how do people used to do this, right? They used to sit around in the living room and sort of force their children to watch the holiday slides. And now we do that on Instagram. That's basically what we do, right? It's just the living room is now in your pocket and it's on your iPhone and it's everywhere. And so I was like, can I get my Instagrams onto 35mm film? And it turns out I could, which was cool. And so I was like, right, this is great. So I started building a prototype. And I took this prototype into the agency, into Mint. And it was made out of, this is a pencil. And this is some sticky tape, some batteries, an LED out of a torch. And then most of that is clay that I've bashed into a mold. And they're like, what is that? And I was like, honestly, it's going to be awesome. And they're like, no. So I 3D printed it and made it look all shiny and painted it up, and literally still exactly the same components, but stuck them all in together. And then put it all together, painted it, and came up with this thing, which is called Projecteo. And it's a mini Instagram projector, basically. It's about the size of a matchbox. I've got a couple with me if you want to see afterwards. So the idea is you log onto the app, you sign into your Instagram account, you pick 9 of your favorite images, we develop them onto 35mm slides, put the slides in the projector, and then it projects. So this one's like Paradise Spaceman Yes. Put that on Kickstarter, got funded in under 24 hours, and we're like, awesome, this is cool. I've got a piece of plastic with some masking tape in it, and 90 grand on Kickstarter. And now you want me to make this? Oh, okay. So shortly after that, I went to China. China's awesome. It's like a huge hack lab. Basically all it is. It's incredible. So I went there, and they give you do 12-hour days, and they just feed you meatballs all day. So good. And so, yeah, we basically just were there, like, there's some rolls of film down here, and you just, like, spent the whole day, like, hacking away with calipers and sort of running down to the factory floor downstairs and trying to convey to the foreman what you were trying to do, and he's just looking at you like, you're an idiot. And so all of that sort of higgledy-piggledy masking tape and clay and stuff got condensed down to this, which is basically 3 watch batteries, an LED, a little chip, and a switch. And this is like the mold that we started to make. And so what the process would be is very similar to building a website. You build your first iteration of the mold, it's completely crap, and then you sort of go, well, that's not working, you fill it with plastic, and then you sort of hack away at stuff and say, okay, we need like 2 millimeters off here, and like we need this button to depress a bit nicer. And we went through about 7 iterations with this, with like user testing in China, which was really interesting. And this one's completely black because they use all the waste plastic. It's actually a really sort of ecologically minded, they just don't call it green. All the waste plastic gets dumped into a big grinder, which gets grinded up, and they use it to test all of the stuff. And it all goes this sort of dark mottled grey colour. And the whole time we were doing this, we were posting all of the content about this making process online, so via Twitter, via Instagram, and building up this community of people behind it, because like, if you can expose the means of production of something, it's almost as fascinating as the end product itself in a lot of ways, especially for sort of the Kickstarter community. So we launched last week. We sold 2,500 units on Kickstarter and another 2,000 since then. And so it's been this like crazy sort of year of being like, oh yeah, I work at a digital agency, and now I make Instagram projectors. And it's completely insane, but we've somehow managed to sort of hack it all together. And I know I'm a bit of a black sheep in this room, but yeah, anyway, that's me, and thank you very much.